In this video, let's learn about Cartesian coordinate system. Cartesian system was first proposed by a French scientist, philosopher and mathematician in the 17th century. Cartesian coordinate system was given its name Cartesian after the name of René Descartes only. Relevance of Cartesian coordinate system in coordinate geometry. Coordinate geometry is all about representation of data based on the idea of their position. Descartes invented the idea of placing two lines perpendicular to each other and referred the position of points or objects with respect to these lines. So if we have a point here, we can specify its position based on the distance from these axes. So this is the distance from the horizontal axis and this is the distance from the vertical axis. These two distances are enough to represent the position of any object or point in a plane. Now let's discuss the development of coordinate system. Here we have two number lines, one is horizontal and the other one is vertical. We can call this one, the horizontal one, as x dash x and the vertical one as y dash. This is the negative side of x dash x, this is the positive side. Similarly, this is the positive side of y dash y and this is the negative side of y dash. Now we will combine these two number lines. Let's see what happens. So this is what happens when we combine the two number lines here. X dash x becomes the horizontal axis and y dash becomes the vertical axis. And this is the point where 0 point of both the number lines coincides. This becomes our origin 0, 0. This is the positive direction of the horizontal axis and this is the negative direction of the horizontal axis. This is the positive direction of the vertical axis and this is the negative direction of the vertical axis. The horizontal axis is called as the x-axis. So this is very important. The horizontal axis is called as the x-axis and the vertical axis is called as the y-axis. And the plane on which these axes are located is called as the Cartesian plane. So this plane is the Cartesian plane. Graph sheets and grids are used to represent the coordinate system because it is very easy with the help of these to represent the coordinates of a point. Let's take this point. Now its distance from y-axis is this. Very easily we can see that this is 4 units. So if we call this point as P, 4 will become its x-coordinate. And distance of this point from the x-axis is 3 units. It is very easy to count with the help of the grids. So its y-coordinate will become 3. So 4, 3 are the coordinates of point P. This 4, 3 is an ordered pair. That means 4 is the x-coordinate and 3 is the y-coordinate. Here, xy and yx are not one and the same thing. 4, 3 is a different point and 3, 4 is a different point. For example, 3, 4 will be this point here in this case. So this is our point 3, 4. In Cartesian coordinate system, we can take help of single axis, that means one axis only, when we have to represent points along a line, we can take help of two axes when we have to represent a point in a plane, and we can take the help of three axes when we have to represent a point in space. We can have another coordinate systems also, such as the polar coordinate system. So this is the polar coordinate system. Here, any point is represented with the help of two coordinates. Suppose this is the point. The first coordinate is the distance of this point from the origin. So this is that distance, and the second coordinate is the angle which the line joining this point with the origin makes with positive direction of x-axis. So this angle is 30 degrees here, as we can see. So polar coordinates are r, theta, where r is the distance from the origin and theta is the angle. So in this video, we learnt about Cartesian coordinate system. We saw this is a system of representing a point using perpendicular axes. Points are denoted by ordered pair xy. Order means x first and y second. We can represent points along a line in one dimension, along a plane in two dimensions, and along a space in three dimensions. Then we learnt about polar coordinate system. This is another way of representing a point where distance from the origin and angle from the reference axis is used to represent a point.